I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. The house is buzzing with anticipation. Laughter filters through the walls, mingling with the clinking of glasses and the soft hum of upbeat music. It's the kind of party where everyone's trying just a little too hard to be seen as the life of the event. I glance at the clock for the third time, waiting for Maya. She's always been the life of the party, so her refusal to come tonight is unusual. I remember her excuses: a headache, too tired, needs to catch up on work. At first, I brushed it off, but now I can't ignore the gnawing feeling in my gut. The doorbell rings, and I slip my jacket on, forcing a smile as I step outside. The night air is crisp, and I take a deep breath, trying to shake off the anxiety that's been creeping up all day. Inside, I'm greeted by the usual crowd, friendly faces, half-remembered names, and the ever-present hum of casual conversation. My friend Tom waves me over, a little too enthusiastically. He's already had a few drinks, his cheeks flushed and eyes gleaming with the alcohol-fueled camaraderie. "Hey, man, where's Maya?" he asks, leaning closer than necessary. His breath reeks of beer and cheap whiskey. "She's not coming," I reply, trying to keep my tone light. "She wasn't feeling up to it." Tom's grin wavers for a moment, and I catch a flicker of something in his eyes, something I can't quite place. "Ah, that's a shame. You know," he says, his voice lowering conspiratorially, "everyone's been talking about it. About her." I freeze, the music and chatter around me fading into the background. "Talking about what?" Tom leans in, his words slurred. "You know, the affair." My heart skips a beat, and I'm momentarily paralyzed. "What are you talking about?" I manage to stammer, though my voice sounds distant, even to me. Tom's face flushes deeper, and he suddenly seems aware of how he's spoken. "Ah, forget I said anything. He waves a hand dismissively, but the damage is done. The room starts to spin as the weight of his words sinks in. The betrayal hits me like a physical blow. I had suspected something was off, but to hear it confirmed in such a careless, offhand manner is a gut punch. I stumble away from Tom, trying to process the revelation. I find a quiet corner, trying to gather my thoughts. My mind races, replaying every moment of Maya's recent behavior, the missed phone calls, the unexplained absences. I feel a storm of emotions: anger, disbelief, and a cold, icy resolve. The night drags on, but I can't shake the sense of betrayal that now colors every interaction. I leave the party early, my mind already churning with thoughts of how to confront Maya. Back at home, I sit in the dim light of the living room, staring at the empty space beside me on the couch. The calm before the storm. I need a plan. A way to make her understand the depths of her betrayal. The first step in my plan is clear: I need to gather evidence. Not just to confront her, but to ensure that she can't twist the narrative. The truth will be my weapon, and I'll wield it with precision. As I start piecing together my revenge, I feel a cold satisfaction. Betrayal cuts deep, but revenge will be sweet. The divorce will be only the beginning. The next few days are a blur of sleepless nights and restless days. I can't shake the image of Tom's slurred revelation, and the need for clarity drives me. I dive into Maya's social media, her messages, and anything I can access. I need proof, something concrete that will stand up to confrontation and ensure there's no room for denial. Late one night, as I sift through her texts, I find what I'm looking for: messages that are too intimate, too familiar. They're between Maya and someone named Alex. The tone is unmistakable, flirty, affectionate, and alarmingly frequent. It's all I need to confirm what Tom hinted at. I sit on the edge of the bed, staring at my phone screen. A cold rage is bubbling inside me. I feel a mix of satisfaction and dread. The confrontation will come soon, and I need to be prepared. I gather my thoughts, rehearsing what I'll say. The next morning, Maya finally decides to return my calls. I try to keep my voice calm, though it's a struggle. Can we talk? I ask. There's something we need to discuss. Sure, she replies, her voice cheerful, almost too bright. What's up? I'll explain when you get home, I say, hanging up before she can ask more. I don't want her to sense my unease. The house feels like a pressure cooker as I wait. When Maya walks in, her smile falters when she sees the seriousness in my eyes. What's wrong? She asks, her voice tinged with concern. I found something, I say, my tone measured. Something I need to address. She raises an eyebrow, clearly puzzled. What are you talking about? I pull out my phone and show her the messages between her and Alex. Her face pales as she reads them, her eyes darting from the screen to me. I can explain, she stammers, her composure cracking. Explain what? I demand. That you've been cheating on me? She opens her mouth, but no words come out. The silence is deafening. I can see the guilt etched on her face, the realization that her carefully maintained facade is crumbling. Who is he? I ask, my voice icy. And how long has this been going on? His name is Alex, she admits, her voice barely a whisper. It started a few months ago. I didn't mean for it to get out of hand. You didn't mean for it to get out of hand? I cut her off. You were reckless with someone else's feelings. Our relationship meant nothing to you. Maya's eyes fill with tears, but I'm unmoved. I'm sorry, she says, but the words sound hollow. Sorry doesn't fix this, I say firmly. We're done. I'm filing for divorce. The look on her face is one of shock and disbelief. You can't be serious, she says, her voice rising. We can work through this. We can. No, I interrupt. There's nothing to work through. I'm done. Her protests grow more desperate, but I remain resolute. The decision is made. Over the next few weeks, the process is swift and brutal. I gather evidence and consult with a lawyer. Maya tries to negotiate, offering to work things out, but my resolve is unwavering. I'm driven by a need for retribution, to make her understand the consequences of her betrayal. The final divorce settlement is a harsh reality. As we sign the papers, Maya's eyes are red from crying, but there's no sympathy in me. She's lost her chance at redemption. I feel a grim satisfaction as I leave the courthouse, knowing that my plan for revenge has been executed. The divorce is final. Maya is officially out of my life, and the house feels emptier than it ever has. I try to focus on work, to distract myself from the gnawing sense of loss and the fleeting pangs of guilt. But despite the facade of normalcy I maintain, my mind keeps returning to the wreckage left behind. A few weeks after the divorce is finalized, I decide to visit Maya's favorite cafe. It's a place I used to avoid, but now it seems like the perfect venue for closure. I need to see if she's still frequenting the spot, and if so, with whom. The cafe is quaint, filled with the aroma of freshly ground coffee and the soft murmur of conversations. I order a coffee and take a seat in a corner where I can see the entrance. My heart races with anticipation and a tinge of nervousness. After a few minutes, the door opens, and Maya walks in, looking disheveled and tired. She's with Alex. My stomach churns as I watch them settle into a booth near the window. They seem relaxed, their chemistry undeniable. Maya laughs at something Alex says, and he reaches across the table to hold her hand. I feel a surge of anger, but I force myself to stay calm. This is about more than just seeing them together. It's about confronting the aftermath of my decisions and understanding how deep the betrayal went. I wait until their conversation seems to be winding down before approaching their table. Maya looks up, her eyes widening with surprise and discomfort. What are you doing here? She asks, her voice a mix of annoyance and embarrassment. I needed to see for myself, I say, trying to keep my tone neutral. I needed to see if you're really moving on. Alex eyes me warily, sensing the tension. Is there a problem? He asks, his voice steady. I think there is, I reply. I wasn't expecting you to be here with Maya. But now that I am, I need to ask, how long have you two been seeing each other? Alex shifts uncomfortably, glancing at Maya. We've been together since before your divorce was finalized, he admits. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's the truth. Maya's face turns red, and she looks down at her coffee, unable to meet my gaze. I'm sorry, she says softly. I didn't want it to end like this. I was trying to move on, to find something more. More. I echo, incredulous. What exactly were you looking for, Maya? What was missing? She opens her mouth to respond but seems to reconsider. Instead, she falls silent, tears forming in her eyes. The weight of her choices is evident, and for a moment, I feel a flicker of sympathy. But it's quickly overshadowed by the need to understand the full extent of her betrayal. I'm sorry, but I need to process this, I say, turning to leave. This is more than I expected to handle today. As I walk away from the cafe, I feel a strange sense of resolution. Seeing Maya and Alex together, knowing that they've continued their relationship so openly, confirms that the choices I made were necessary. I had to act decisively, to ensure that there were consequences for the betrayal I endured. Back at home, I spend the evening reflecting on the past months. The house, once a place of shared memories and love, now feels like a mausoleum of lost dreams. I pull out the divorce papers and look at the finality of them. It's a tangible reminder of the end of my marriage. The revenge I sought has been exacted, but the emotional fallout lingers. I resolve to focus on my own healing and moving forward. The journey to rebuild my life begins now, and I know it won't be easy. But seeing Maya and Alex together, knowing the truth, allows me to close this chapter with a sense of finality. The story of betrayal and retribution has reached its climax. What remains is a new beginning, a chance to rebuild and find solace in the aftermath. The days following my encounter at the cafe feel like a whirlwind. I've tried to move on, but the nagging doubts about Maya and Alex linger. The more I think about their relationship, the more a disturbing pattern emerges. I can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. The pieces of the puzzle aren't fitting together as neatly as they should. Determined to uncover the truth, I start digging deeper into Alex's background. It doesn't take long for me to discover something unsettling. Alex isn't who he claims to be. His social media profiles, while seemingly ordinary, are filled with inconsistencies and false information. It's as if he's deliberately hiding something. I hire a private investigator to dig further. A week later, the investigator presents his findings. Alex has a history of conning people, using charm and deceit to exploit others. He's been involved in multiple fraudulent schemes, leaving a trail of damaged lives. It's a revelation that shocks me, but it also ignites a cold fury. Maya had no idea, the investigator tells me. Alex is a master manipulator. He's been playing a long game. This new information is a game changer. I realized that Maya wasn't just cheating, she was entangled in a web of deceit spun by someone who was exploiting her vulnerabilities. The anger I feel now is sharper, more focused. I need to confront both Maya and Alex, but this time, I'll do it with a plan that ensures they can't escape the consequences. I arrange a meeting with Maya at her apartment. I don't tell her about the investigator's findings. Instead, I want to see her reaction when confronted with the truth about Alex. When Maya opens the door, her face lights up with a false cheerfulness. Hey, what's up? She asks, stepping aside to let me in. Sit down, I say, my voice icy. We need to talk. She complies, and we sit across from each other. I can see the apprehension in her eyes. What's this about? She asks. I've discovered something about Alex, I say, pulling out the report the investigator gave me. And it's not pretty. Maya's eyes widen as I detail Alex's history of fraud and manipulation. I had no idea, she stammers, her voice trembling. Didn't you think to question why he was so perfect? I ask. Why he seemed too good to be true. She shakes her head, tears welling up. I was blinded by my own needs, my own mistakes. Your mistakes, I say, were compounded by his deceit. And now you've made your bed, Maya. You're entangled in a nightmare. I'm sorry, she says, sobbing now. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. But my anger isn't appeased by apologies. Sorry doesn't cut it, I say. Not after everything you've done. I leave Maya to grapple with the revelation and set out to confront Alex. I find him at a bar, a place where he frequents to charm his next target. His expression shifts from casual to alarmed when he sees me. Look who decided to show up, Alex sneers. What's the matter, didn't get enough of Maya? I'm here to end this charade, I say, my voice cold. I know all about your schemes and the people you've ruined. Alex's face pales as I reveal the details of his fraudulent activities. You don't know what you're talking about, he says, trying to sound confident. This is all just. No more lies, I cut him off. You're going to pay for what you've done. I'm making sure of it. I've gathered evidence of Alex's fraud, and I have a plan to ensure it reaches the authorities. I show him the compiled documents, watching as his bravado crumbles. This will be your downfall, I say. I'm ensuring you face the consequences of your actions. Alex's eyes are filled with fear and rage. You can't do this, he hisses. You're just a bitter ex. And you're a con artist, I retort. The law will catch up with you, and when it does, you'll find there's no escape. With that, I leave Alex to face the impending fallout. I've made sure that his web of deceit will unravel, taking him down in a storm of legal repercussions. Back at home, I feel a grim satisfaction. The scales of justice have balanced, and while the pain of betrayal lingers, the act of revenge has brought closure. Maya and Alex are no longer part of my life, their deception exposed and punished. The final chapter of this tumultuous story is written, and I am ready to move forward, free from the shadows of betrayal and retribution.